actually said to me, "You ought to do it." And I said, "Look, I don't need to do that. I'm not down to do this. This is your..."
I was a separated wife to the Prince of Wales. I was a problem, full stop. Never happened before. What do we do with her?
Imagine a letter so secret it stayed buried for years. Now Diana's words to Princess Anne are finally being exposed, and they might change everything we thought we knew. What did she confess? You won't believe the bombshells inside. Hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Imagine stumbling upon a sealed letter in a dusty old box, a letter that's been hidden away for nearly 3 decades. In early 2024, that's exactly what happened in Essex, England. Inside an unremarkable estate, a seemingly ordinary box contained a piece of royal history that would soon send shockwaves through Buckingham Palace. This letter wasn't just any letter. It was sealed in cream-colored stationery, its edges slightly yellowed with time. But what truly caught everyone's attention was the distinct red wax crest, Diana's personal mark reserved for only her most private and heartfelt communications. For years, the letter had drifted between private hands, untouched, unread, and completely forgotten.
It's best to put him in that if you want him to smile at the cameras. No, he's very happy to do that.
The world had seen plenty of Diana's letters, thank you notes, messages of encouragement, but this one was different. It was never meant to be public, and it was addressed to someone few would have expected, Princess Anne. Experts quickly authenticated the envelope, confirming it had been written just months before Diana's passing in 1997. The royal world buzzed with anticipation. What could Diana possibly have wanted to say to Anne, a woman with whom she was known to have a complicated relationship? And why was this letter hidden away for so long? The answers would reveal a side of Diana the public had never seen, and a bond with Anne that no one could have predicted. Diana and Anne, 2 women bound by royal titles yet worlds apart in personality and approach.
But I'm not going to say anything, babe. But Prince Charles did give us a hint himself.
Diana, the beloved people's princess, was warm, expressive, and deeply connected to the public. She wore her heart on her sleeve and defied royal protocol by openly sharing her emotions and connecting with everyday people. Anne, on the other hand, was the epitome of royal duty. Stoic, no-nonsense, and fiercely dedicated to her work, she carried out hundreds of royal engagements each year without seeking attention or applause. For Anne, the monarchy was about service, not sentiment. Their contrasting styles led to visible tension behind palace walls. Diana's emotional openness clashed with Anne's rigid, duty-bound demeanor. While Diana's humanitarian efforts made global headlines, Anne's steady work often went unnoticed. Anne rarely acknowledged Diana publicly, and Diana in turn seemed to sidestep Anne's more traditionalist views.
How an individual can turn the nourishment of the body.
Yet despite their differences, Diana saw something in Anne, something steady, unwavering, and fiercely loyal. Perhaps it was this steadiness that made Diana reach out to Anne in her final months. Despite never being close, Diana recognized Anne's strength and resolve, qualities she desperately hoped her sons would be surrounded by if she couldn't be there herself. But why Anne? And why now? The answer would soon become chillingly clear. After Diana's tragic passing in 1997, many of her personal letters surfaced, fragments of a life that had been both public and heartbreakingly private. But this particular letter charted a far more mysterious path. Just days before Diana's final trip to Paris, she entrusted the sealed envelope to a senior palace staffer. The staffer was given no instructions other than to keep it safe.
I was, because it's opening another chapter in my life, and certainly William's.
But Diana never returned, and the letter remained unopened, quietly passing through private hands. The staffer, either out of respect or fear of unwanted attention, handed the envelope to a private collector known for handling royal memorabilia. This collector, valuing privacy over profit, never opened the letter. Instead, they sold it to a retired banker named Thomas Henderson in 2001. Henderson, a man known for his love of British history, kept the letter hidden in a simple wooden drawer in his study. He never displayed it, never spoke of it, and never broke the seal. Years passed, Henderson aged, and the letter remained untouched. its secrets preserved by layers of wax and time. In early 2024, as Henderson's estate was cataloged for auction, the letter emerged again. An assistant sorting through his belongings noticed the distinct red wax seal and graceful, hurried handwriting.
Interest, but of service, of understanding, the way that people and community.
Experts were called in, and the letter was finally authenticated. After decades of silence, the letter's contents were about to be revealed, and what it contained would leave everyone stunned. When the letter was finally unsealed, its contents were both haunting and heartbreakingly sincere. Unlike other letters Diana had written, this one wasn't addressed to a friend or confidant. It was written to Anne, a woman with whom Diana had little warmth but unexpected respect. In her unmistakable handwriting, Diana poured her fears onto the paper. She wrote not as a princess, but as a mother terrified for her son's future in a world that was growing increasingly harsh and unforgiving. Diana expressed concern over how the monarchy was shifting, becoming less about duty and more about appearances. She feared that the growing media obsession would consume her boys, molding them into figures who prioritized image over authenticity.
You didn't throw things away. I'm that old. That often comes from.
She urged Anne to watch over William and Harry, not as a mother, but as a steady, reliable presence. Diana acknowledged that she and Anne had never been close, but she saw something in Anne, a strength, a resolve, and an ability to endure without crumbling under pressure. Diana asked Anne to be there for her sons in the years to come, to model strength not in status, but in self. The letter wasn't a plea, it was a plan. Diana didn't expect Anne to become a mother figure, but she trusted Anne to provide guidance, discipline, and consistency, qualities Diana knew her sons would desperately need. With each word, Diana's love for her sons was palpable, and in choosing Anne, she made a decision that would surprise everyone.
It's always been a major ambition.
Diana sensed the royal institution was at a critical turning point. The traditional royal protocols no longer aligned with the rapidly changing world, and Diana feared her sons would be caught in the crossfire. In her letter, she warned of a monarchy that was becoming less relatable, a crown out of touch with the very people it claimed to represent. She expressed her fear that William and Harry would be forced to choose between duty and self, a choice that could tear them apart. Diana asked Anne to keep an eye on them, to ensure they remained true to themselves even when the pressure to conform became unbearable. She urged Anne to remind them of their mother's teachings, to be kind, compassionate, and authentic. For Diana, this letter wasn't just a warning, it was a request for Anne to become a silent guardian, a woman who could offer guidance without demanding attention or praise. It was a role Anne had mastered for decades, and Diana was hoping her sons would benefit from that same quiet strength.
Yeah. And that's how you have to be so careful that you give them a spread of things to do.
After Diana's passing, the royal family remained tight-lipped about the contents of the letter. Anne, in particular, maintained her stoic, reserved demeanor, the very qualities that had defined her throughout her royal life. But behind the scenes, subtle changes were beginning to emerge. For years, Anne had been seen as the no-nonsense royal, the one who kept her head down, fulfilled her duties, and rarely sought the spotlight. But after Diana's letter was revealed, her demeanor seemed to soften. Observers noted that Anne's approach to her royal duties began to align more closely with Diana's vision for the monarchy. She started to attend more youth-focused events, spending time with young people in ways that mirrored Diana's hands-on, compassionate approach. While Anne had previously been seen as somewhat distant, she now appeared more willing to connect with the public in a relatable, down-to-earth manner.
In many respects, need to deal with it. Not least of all because...
Within the palace walls, Anne's interactions with William and Harry took on new significance. While she had always been dutiful, she now seemed to play a quieter, more supportive role in their lives. During public events, she was seen engaging more frequently with William, offering subtle gestures of support. And when Harry decided to step away from royal duties, Anne was one of the few royals who refrained from making public statements. Insiders speculate that Anne understood Harry's desire for independence, a desire that Diana had clearly expressed concern about in her letter. Perhaps Anne's silence was her way of respecting Harry's decision, just as Diana had requested. Anne's influence also extended to William. When William began advocating for mental health awareness and modernizing royal engagements, Anne quietly supported his efforts. She attended events with him, stood by his side, and continued to fulfill her duties with her signature resilience.
Disasters are not going to stop happening, so there will always be problems.
Though Anne's actions were never dramatic or attention-seeking, they spoke volumes. She became a steadying force behind the scenes, a figure of quiet strength and consistency, the very qualities Diana had admired and hoped her sons would learn from. In the years following Diana's death, Anne became a silent guardian of Diana's legacy, upholding the values Diana had fought to instill in her sons. While Anne may never have publicly acknowledged the letter, her actions suggested that she had taken Diana's words to heart, choosing to honor Diana's memory not through grand gestures, but through subtle, unwavering support. What do you think about Diana's decision to reach out to Anne? Did she see something in Anne that the world overlooked? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more royal secrets and untold stories.